Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Hope you're all doing well out there. Today we've got a few news stories in the world of tech and PC gaming. First up, we're going to be talking about Apple, of all people. I know this is a PC gaming channel and Apple doesn't really go with that, but they have announced their own version of DLSS ahead of Intel making it to market with their XeSS upscaler, so kind of interesting that they're going in that direction with that. Also, Evil West has been given an official release date and announced that it will be coming to the PC on September 20th, which is awesome. We'll be talking about that, as well as the new Samsung Odyssey monitor, which is now available for sale. It's a 32-inch 4K 240Hz monitor. Absolute beast specs on this thing, so let's get into it. But first, today's video is brought to you by Primetecmart.com, where you can save money on software like Windows 10 Pro licenses for under $25. They've also got Windows 10 Home for under $20, and now Windows 11 Pro you can grab over on Primetecmart.com. They've also got Office 2019 and the new Office 2021. And if you want to save an additional 20% at checkout on Windows 10 or any other software, go ahead and click Buy It Now, and during the checkout process, go ahead and put JP20 in and apply that coupon, and that'll give you 20% off of any software that you happen to pick up over there. So for Windows 10 Pro, you can see it dropped our price down from $24.46 to under $20. So be sure to hit up the links down in the description below, and don't forget to use my coupon code JP20 at checkout for an additional 20% off. First up, let's talk about Apple. I know Apple and PC gaming kind of go together like apples and oranges, kind of. I guess that's a pretty good analogy, isn't it? Which I just made up on the fly. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a pat on the back for that one. Feeling pretty proud at the moment. But Apple has announced their own upscaler, similar to DLSS and Intel's XeSS, at their WWDC 2022 event, which happened the other day. So they're going to be coming out with an upscaler, and the first games, I should say, that are going to be getting the Metal FX upscaler are going to be No Man's Sky and Resident Evil Village. They did also say that the tech wields a fast resource loading API that enables the GPU to directly fetch high-quality textures and buffers, which should help improve load times and streaming of textures and things of the like in terms of the gameplay. So overall, delivering a faster, more responsive, and smoother gaming experience for all of those games that you could play on your MacBooks. I'm kidding. I know they have a fair amount of titles that they support, but obviously not all of them. But the Metal framework is actually supported across all of Apple products. So even on an iPhone, which this is not because I don't use Apple products because I don't believe in child labor. All of that kind of stuff and overpriced things and right to repair nonsense. Call me crazy, but yeah, Apple just is not my bag, baby. So I'm not into it, but for people that use it, I guess they'll have access to this even on mobile games, as the framework, as I said, works across all Mac devices. So MacBooks, Mac Pros, whatever. Yeah, it'll work across all of them. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Unfortunately, I won't be ever testing it on the channel unless Apple wants to send me a Mac for free, which I sincerely doubt will ever happen. Next up, Evil West was announced to be coming to the PC. It's already what had been announced to be coming to console, but now we got an official announcement that it is coming to the PC right alongside consoles on September the 20th, and it looks pretty good, honestly. The graphics on this game are quite impressive. It's already available right now over on Steam to pre-order, which obviously you should not do, but it's $50. And it is from Flying Wild Hog, who you may know from previous titles like the Shadow Warrior series and the recently released Trek to Yomi, Space Punks, as well as a couple of others. So the Shadow Warrior games are awesome. I recently did a video on Shadow Warrior 3 and the port report of that, and that game is absolutely a blast. It's not like the greatest looking game in the world or anything like that, but the combat, so much fun. Just a complete blast to play, so I'm definitely looking forward to Evil West now that it's coming to the PC, and it is going to have co-op. It will have online co-op for what I believe is going to be up to just 2 people, as they mentioned that you can play with a friend through the full campaign. And I also kind of thought initially this was going to be something like a Left 4 Dead or a Vermintide, which, and Back for Blood, those types of games, those are kind of okay, but I never really play them that much. But Evil West actually just looks like it's a good, like, sort of linear campaign that can be played single player or in online co-op. And like I said, the visuals are very stunning, and it's set in the Old West, but you're a vampire hunter. And yeah, looks like a lot of fun, honestly. And anytime a good-looking game comes out that supports co-op, I'm probably going to be picking it up, as I love playing games like this online with a buddy. And yeah, keep an eye out for September 20th. I'll definitely do a port report on this and maybe a slunts play with my buddy Kurt, who I always play all my co-op games with. So Evil West, September 20th. Let me know if you're hyped for it down in the comments below. Something else I am hyped about, I was actually talking with my buddy Brian from Bad Seed Tech about a week ago. We were just kind of shooting the shit over on Discord for a while and kind of catching up as we hadn't talked in a while. But he was actually looking at monitors, and he had mentioned this Samsung mini LED monitor that was going to be coming out, and now it is officially available for sale for $14.99, $1,500. So definitely not cheap, but a sign of the times that these monitors are becoming more affordable. I mean, the Acer Predator X27 that I'm currently using can be found for about $1,000 on Amazon. When this thing came out, it was selling for $2,000, and it's a 27-inch 4K monitor, 144 hertz. So obviously, at the time when this thing came out a few years ago, it was the duck's nuts. It was one of the first of its kind. And now this Samsung 32-inch 4K mini LED with 240 hertz is coming to market at $1,500 with a 1000R curve on the VA panel. The VA panel is a little bit of a drawback, although they do look beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It's excuse me, just not great for color accuracy if you're doing video editing, but it will look fantastic in games. Those blacks and stuff will probably look even better on a VA panel, especially since this thing supports HDR 2000, which my Predator X27 can't even get near that. So the HDR on my monitor is just okay. It's not fantastic. It's HDR 600, which is not ideal, but it's definitely usable, and it certainly looks better in HDR, but I wish it was HDR 1000 or higher. But this guy at $1,500 is like my dream monitor. I've been wanting a 32-inch 4K, high refresh monitor for a while, and now this thing actually fulfills what I wanted in one, and a hell of a lot more, honestly. The only drawback for me personally is the curve. I could live with it, but I'd be honest if I would say that if they came out with a non-curved version, I would definitely pick up the non-curved version instead if they come out with one of those. And I have used a Samsung monitor in the past. I had for a little while a 1440p Odyssey monitor, a 144 hertz 1440p monitor, so nothing crazy in terms of specs. But I will tell you that the image quality on that Samsung monitor and panel were probably the best I had ever seen on a monitor. I used 4K for gaming at the time, so I really wasn't interested in using a 1440p monitor, at the time or currently still. But just in terms of visual quality, the Samsung panels look absolutely incredible. And with this thing being mini LED, 240 hertz, 32-inch, HDR 2000, pretty much the best monitor probably on the gaming market right now, if you're into all that sort of stuff and 4K gaming. So this is definitely going to be on my radar as something I would hope to pick up maybe at some point in the future as an upgrade to my X27, because the pixel density at 32 inches is just perfect at 4K. I've gotten used to a 27-inch 4K monitor, but on a lot of websites I have to zoom into, not a ton, but like 110%, some sites maybe 125% scaling in order to be able to read stuff. But I've gotten used to the 27-inch size and the pixel density. Everything is super sharp and crisp, that's for sure. So there would maybe be some loss on that on a 32-inch display, but probably not too much where I would notice it like incredibly. But I would just like the bigger size, honestly. It would be a lot better for me personally. So I definitely might pick up something like this in the future, especially if we see more of them coming out. I honestly don't need the 240 hertz. Very few games I'm going to be able to play at 4K and get 240 frames per second. But hey, I'm not going to complain if that's a spec that's like a cherry on top for everything else that this monitor is offering. So the Odyssey Neo G8 is definitely caught my eye, and I'll be taking a look at it a little bit further soon in the future, hopefully. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. Let me know your thoughts on these stories and everything down in the comments below, as I love interacting with you guys on that stuff. And I will catch you next time for another video. Ciao.